Welcome, welcome, wonderful divine beings. So my name's Talbia. I'm a transformational coach, yoga practitioner, and a mental health mentor as well. And the other thing I love to do is to support individuals with aligning with their life purpose and embracing that. So today I'm feeling called to share about the keys to wellness. And, there's so much information out there, but I just think it's really important, especially with what's happening in our world at this time. So I want to share some of my keys to wellness with you. And I'd love to hear in the comments about some of your keys to wellness that you find really help you. So what I'm aware of is that it starts with yourself in terms of the breath. That's the most important place to begin. So this is something I've learned in my 15 years of practice in yoga. I think it's actually more than 15 years now. So the breathing is just really, really important. And I wish that we would teach our children in school about this. So if you're feeling worried, anxious, angry, you're going to notice your breath it's up here, okay? Be in the chest and it'll be mouth breathing. Your body is designed so that you breathe through the nose and out through the nose. And you can also breathe out through the mouth, but it's very important that we're breathing in through the nose. Why? Because it cleans the air going through the nasal cavity. It warms the air up, and it also helps you to take a breath deeper so it can go down into your diaphragm. So most of the time in our modern world, and especially in our current world right now, we're breathing through the mouth and we're breathing here, okay? So this is where our anxiety breath, our fear breath, our flight and fight response breathing, it's all up here in the chest, very high, okay? We want to bring the breath down into the lungs, diaphragmatic, and even further down into the belly. So we go into the lungs, which is often what we do in Pilates, and then we want to go down into the diaphragm. So the belly's expanding as we inhale, and as we exhale, belly buttons touching the spine very gently. So as we inhale, imagining the balloon. As we exhale, just allowing the belly button to gently drop back towards the spine. This breath is especially nice to do if you're lying down, and you can just place your hands very gently on your abdomen. And as you inhale, feeling the rise. As you exhale, feeling the coming down and in. And I'd recommend practicing that for at least 5 minutes daily, building up to 10, 15 minutes. It's a wonderful one to do in the morning, just as you're waking up. It's also great to do in the evening before you go to sleep. And what it does is it has a very calming effect. So what it does is shifts the nervous system from the flight and fight response into the rest and digest response. And this is really where health and the keys of health and wellness come, when we're in our rest and digest. And if we are constantly worried, if we're feeling anxious and fearful, we are not going to be doing diaphragmatic breathing. And so that's going to really affect the way we feel, but it also our mindset. And, what I find fascinating is that the way we breathe affects the way we feel, and the way we feel affects the way we breathe. So the first thing I'd like to recommend for your keys to wellness is your breath. Just starting to become aware, how am I breathing? Just watching yourself through the day. Oh, look, I'm breathing really shallow. Let me take a deep breath. This is why yawning is such a wonderful practice. It's very releasing, and it really brings you back down into the diaphragm as well, okay? So the diaphragmatic breath, that's the first thing I wanted to share with you. Second thing I wanted to share with you today is for keys to wellness is food. So it's so important the type of food that we consume. So as much as we can, we want food that is prana rich, that's rich in life force energy. So very fresh food, not sprayed with lots of pesticides. And when I say fresh, I mean like you want to eat it from when it's been taken out of the soil to your plate in as minimal time as possible. That's the richest type of food you're going to get, is prana rich. So vegetables, fruits, so important. Also water. You want to be super aware of the water that you drink. In the UK at the moment, our water has a lot of different chemicals coming in through the tap, chlorine, they're talking about putting more fluoride in there. So as a minimum, if you are drinking tap water, you need to just basically have some kind of filter. You can also use charcoal as well, and there's many filters available. You can research them online. But you really want a high quality source of water as well. And what you can also do with your water is just add a pinch of Celtic sea salt, just a tiny amount. That also helps your body to absorb the water as well. It's something I've practiced in the past and it's really wonderful. Those of you that have got a lot of heat in your body, maybe some acidity and things like that, you might want to squeeze some lemon, fresh lemon, into the water as well. That can be very alkalizing, which is wonderful for your health, to have an alkalized system as opposed to an acidic one, which is where we find a lot of disease grows, cancers grow in an acidic environment. So we want to bring our environment internally, I'm talking about the gut now, into alkaline. Okay, so the second thing is your food. And I'm just summarizing some of these things and you can message me if you want more information. So the third key for wellness is movement. Okay, so it's so important that we move, walking, dancing. I do yoga every day. Whatever floats your boat that helps you to move, we want to move, whatever that is. So there's a couple of things that you can do is just like bringing the shoulders up and down, moving the neck and head. But the movement, it really, what it does is it really, I feel like I explain, like it oils your joints. This is what I think of when I'm doing yoga. Like there's a breathing and there's a movement and it's synchronized together. And what I notice is when I exhale, I can really send an intentional healing energy and focus to wherever there's a lack of oxygen in my body. Because what tends to happen is when we feel stiff, which many of us are feeling stiff, it's cold in England at the moment. And you know, you might be in other places where it's not. But this stiffness, and you'll get it if you're working out, those of you that love going to the gym and running and training, we get a lot of stiffness in the body. Now, the stiffness is a sign that there's a lack of oxygen in your body. So you want to up your oxygen. How do you do that? So first of all, you breathe, you do yoga, you could do Tai Chi, you could do Qigong. You want to do some kind of energy movement practice. So see if you can find one that resonates for you. So I love Qigong. I'm a yogi, have been practicing yoga since maybe 2006, I think. And I do it every single day. And you can just spend a few minutes, very, very easy. I also love walking, especially in nature. And it's bringing this mindfulness in. That's really, really helpful. Okay, so we're going to move on to fourth thing now. So the mindset. So right now, if you're watching the news, it's really doom and gloom. So I would really ask you, like, be mindful. You know, my dad loves watching the news. And I really don't. I can't even eat my food if news is blaring in the background. So what I would say to you is you want to be mindful of what are you mentally consuming. So we've talked about like food and breath and movement, but what's the mental consumption? I'm watching this headline, I'm watching this, oh, there's this many cases reported today. Oh no, this person, you know, we want to stop that. Okay. So those of us that resonate with this, we just need to stop. It's just like consuming poison, okay, into your system. So what am I mentally focusing on? And start to be selective if you're not already. What brings me joy? Where do I feel good? What kinds of music do I like? Who do I like to spend time with? What kinds of images do I like to look at? This is all going to raise your vibration. And you're going to notice there's things that are going to deplete and make you feel scared and more fearful. So we want to reduce that or completely remove that as much as we can. So for me, for example, I love to dance, have some incredible people in my life that I love to have conversations with. I like listening to certain podcasts, reading certain books. I'm very creative, so I love to write my poetry, create my programs and courses that I'm working on. So the things that bring you joy, the things that make you feel alive, the things that you feel like, oh, there is no time, it just disappears. Those are the things right now that I would really, really love for you to be exploring and expressing and connecting with others with, because we really want to be aware. And how many times have I said the word really just then? Want to be aware of what's going in, what am I taking in, because everything is energy. So this is part of our energetic cleansing as well. So bringing some kind of meditation practice into your life. It could be on your breath, a very simple practice of natural breath. It could be watching the candle when you have a candle lit. There's so many beautiful practices for meditation now available that I would highly, highly recommend. You could also do something called Yoga Nidra, which is absolutely delightful. Yoga Nidra, which is a yogic sleep technique where you just go through different parts of the body and relax them. Highly, highly recommend for relaxing your nervous system, giving yourself an energy boost, an immunity boost, and feel good. And the final thing I'd like to share is the fifth key. And I think I'm on number 5 now because I've shared a couple of other things as well, is nature. So today was a beautiful day in England, very warm. I was just like feeling the sun on my face. We're right in the height of winter. So being in nature, getting your vitamin D from the sun, going for walks, being near trees and greenery. This is very soothing for your entire system, because you are made up of particles that are the same, that are made up in the earth. So by surrounding ourselves in those natural environments, it will give your energy, your prana, your chi a boost. And it's incredibly valuable right now to be doing anything that makes you feel good, feel uplifted, makes you feel joyful, makes you feel happy. And what's also very important right now is to really start to remove things that make you feel sad, that make you feel scared. Sadness, don't worry so much about, but more make you feel anxious, scared, fearful. We really want to minimize that. And there's a lot of external noise right now that has this like fear and drama and all of this. And you have a choice. You always have a choice. So in the Buddhist saying, they say, you know, you can't control what comes through, what happens, but you can choose how to respond. And I feel like that's incredibly important right now. You can't control what's happening in the world, what's happening outside of you, but you can choose how you respond to it. And so all these keys of wellness, they help us to move from a reaction basis to a response. And they help us to go from being external to moving to be internal. And as we start to do that internal practice, as we start to realign and shift, as we start to bring our vibration up and feel good, this has a very powerful effect on your physical body, on your energy body. And what that means is that you do feel vibrant, you feel energized, you feel alive, you feel healthy, you feel well. And this is what is needed right now. And everybody is unique. So something that works for one person might not work for the other. So this is an invitation for you today to start to explore the keys of wellness that work for you. And I'm just going to recap what I mentioned. So the first thing is your breath, doing some diaphragmatic breathing, which we also call yogic yoga breathing, in and out through the diaphragm, into the belly, into the navel. As we inhale, belly fills. As we exhale, abdomen comes gently down. Second thing is the food. So the type of food you want, prana rich. Prana means life force. So food that's freshly grown, that comes onto your table very quickly as much as possible. You want prana rich food. Minimizing use of pesticides, processed foods, ready meals, takeaways. We really want to minimize that type of food. Third thing is movement. So energy movement practices, yoga, qigong, tai chi, all of that, dancing, and aware of your breath as well, aware of the breath and your movement, which is what I call yoga essentially. And then fourth thing is the mental consumption. What am I mentally consuming in the world around me? Am I watching lots of news? Am I feeling fearful? What can I reduce? What can I remove? And, you know, another practice I find really helpful is when somebody starts to talk to me and it's a conversation that I know is not going to support me to be part of, I'll just say, excuse me, I don't want to partake in this conversation. And that might sound a bit like, huh? But I know that, you know, everybody's at their own vibration. And what you'll find is as you start to do some of these practices, you're going to naturally magnetize things towards you and repel things as well. And so it's very helpful to align ourselves like that. And with the mental as well is the mindfulness and the meditation. So again, many wonderful techniques. I really recommend natural breath. Very simple technique. You could also play some beautiful music as you just start to relax. And also the yoga nidra, which is the sleeping technique. All of that's going to help you. The yogic sleeping is a relaxation technique. And finally, nature. Being in nature is so important. Those of us, we live in buildings, we're using Wi-Fi, we're working from home, we're working in offices, shops, whatever. Where's the natural habitat? So, you know, in Liverpool, you might have access to go into the beach or the forest. You know, in your city or your home or your town where your base is going to be some green spaces. I hope that there is. I'm crossing my fingers for you. You know, near the water, near trees, and you will find what is it. This is the place that I love to go. So as much as we can, these feel good activities, having conversations with people that make us feel good, watching things that make us laugh, listening to music or podcasts or anything that lifts us up, inspires us. This is all really, really important, and especially now. And so these are what I call the keys to wellness. So I hope this has helped you. If you have any comments, please write them below. I do teach yoga. I do teach some of these practices, and I also do one-to-one sessions. So you're more than welcome to get in touch with me if you have any questions about any of that. And I'm just wishing you lots of health, wealth, abundance, and blessings as you come back home to yourself, to your divine nature, and to trust that you are loved, you are protected, and you are divine. Lots of love. Thank you so much.